assignment and exposure events that are sent for the flags and the experiments are very useful, of course, but in the user profile, there ends up being quite a lot of them, especially if you have more operations-based flags that are always there. So for our QA and debugging, going through the user profile, scrolling through has become a lot more cluttered and there's a lot more events. Is there any way around that?
Depending on what you're doing, potentially, if you're not already doing this today, leverage the dashboarding capabilities and charts where you can exclude one event from the other. So that would, wherever you can do that, feel free to leverage the charts capability in Amplitude, because then you can show exactly what you want to show. And basically that's a way to exclude anything you don't want to show that might cloud what you need to see. Potentially in terms of the feature, that I'll relay that to Tyler.
So I can't speak to individuals' permission levels, but inside of a section of our UI is something called Amplitude Data with a capital D. And that's where a lot of actions can take place to govern your Amplitude data, make adjustments to tracking plans and things like that. So I'm just in a demo environment of Amplitude. I'm looking at fake data for a fake product called Amplifile, and I've gone to the events section. But I found an assignment event, for example. If I didn't do that search, you would actually see the full list of events, but let's just use assignments as an example. I've selected it. One option you have in here is edit visibility. One of the options is to hide from event streams. So I would recommend you try that out. The case for having them in event streams when it makes sense to is for troubleshooting and debugging to make sure that these things are firing as you would expect them to. But if your instrumentation is pretty sound and you've run enough tests to know that generally speaking, these things are working well for you, I think the time might come that everyone reaches a point where you're right, it does get a little bit noisy. So try this out. If you're not seeing what I'm seeing on my screen, usually the most common reason is that you might not have a high enough permission level inside of Amplitude. So you may need somebody with a permission level of what we call manager or admin. And if you can identify those folks, they might be able to make this change for you.
Awesome. Thank you.